very short time to explain new innovations, but at NIM we do things a little bit different. Thanks Navingo for being here today. They made it all possible for us, especially Ruud, thank you. NIM is a new company founded by 5 founding partners. And together we are working in the maritime industry in a new business concept. So what we're doing is creating collaboration. That's one of the key binders of NIM, where we bind several companies from the market in our company. That means that we have a share participation program where we give the opportunity to the businesses in the market to buy a small part, only 3% of the shares in our company. With those companies, we are not only able to create innovation, but we do it together. That's one of the main components of the NIM. And in the NIM, we have 4 business units. The first one is focused on hydrogen, on which we look at it in a broader sense. So we look at the production, we look at the fuel cell technology, but also at the contracting and insurance. We have more than 15 companies already in our short lifetime binded to the NIM, which create a complete value chain, making it able to create a business plan that is actually a positive for these very complex and difficult innovative products. Next to that, we have a business unit focusing on methanol, where we have recently joined the Dutch maintenance program, where we will develop dual fuel solutions for the shipping industry over the coming 2 years. And time is very quickly, 2 minutes are very short. So I would say we can continue this discussion at our stand, which is near the beginning, and we can see if you can become a member of NIM also. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Sander, are there questions to Sander? Come on, make it a bit difficult. Yeah, here's a question from Kirsten. We expect questions from all of you, so next time have them ready. Kirsten.
Talking about this customer validation, who would be your ideal customer?
Well, we are looking for projects. NIM is the binding factor between all these companies and the bigger projects. For example, we're now building, we're in the pre-phase of building a large coaster, 500 DVT, which will run on cryogenic hydrogen. For this, a lot of companies are necessary. So we have the customer that wants to build the ship. But in order to realize this, we need to have the hydrogen, we need to have the technology, and we have to need the financing also, and the certification, for example. And this is something that NIM does, is to be the glue between all these parties, the interface engineering, and the overall project management.
Why do I want to be an early customer and not wait a little bit?
Yeah, we're a startup. Well, NIM is not really a startup. With the 5 founding partners, we have more than 100-year experience already in the market. And customers are actually coming to us to ask for help and project management and technology questions. What is the best solution for their innovative questions and ambitions?
Okay, so I should be honored if you still have a spot for me.
I'm sorry?
I should be honored if you still have some space for me.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. If you have something innovative to contribute to the NIM, we will consider you to become a member.
Playing hard to get, good choice, okay. Someone from the audience? Saying no. Yeah, there's a question over here.
Yes, I have a question. You talk about hydrogen. How do you think about electrification and batteries in the shipping industry?
That's the foundation, basically, for all these innovative technologies. So diesel electric, hydrogen goes very well together with battery electric propulsion, of course. Also with methanol generator sets, and maybe in the future also with these new technologies that are emerging. So I would say the foundation or the bedrock of an innovative, new, sustainable, maybe zero-emission platform is always a place for a battery solution.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Sander. Thank you. You may leave the microphone there. Next up is the director of VLab Limited, Vladimir Vukovic. The microphone is yours, and the 2 minutes start the moment you start talking.
Thank you very much. It's a great privilege to be here today and to pitch an innovation from my company, VLab. I started the company a year and a half ago as a university startup, and we had the pleasure to work with many interested partners in our endeavors so far. Here today with me are also partners from Core Systems with whom we have developed joint innovation called SafeSite. SafeSite is a platform which virtual reality platform which allows training for offshore renewables sector. In SafeSite, we bring the virtual reality which completely resembles the real sites where workers will be then required to operate. So we do the scanning of the real world environment, convert that scan into a virtual reality model, and then use artificial intelligence to develop customized training scenarios. And that is what makes us different from typical training platforms, because we can customize our training to fit the needs of the actual operator, of the actual site, and the users, the trainers, the trainees will have that real world experience because of the realistic representation of the digital twin virtual environment that we develop. We use the headsets such as you see here, and if you would like to try and see what we have developed, we are in the hall next door. We are looking for use cases, so if you have something exciting that you feel that you would like to try our environment, we would be more than happy to talk to you, and I welcome any questions that you might have now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions to Vladimir? Yeah, see, come on, I have some difficult questions. Are you a VR company, or is the core that you know how the industry works?
We're a company with, as I said, academic background experience in a lot of interesting research and innovation projects, some of those being applications of augmented and virtual reality, but we also have a number of other exciting innovations in the pipeline. As I said, we were started from academic research with an idea to try and commercialize some of the innovations that myself and my team have been working over the number of years.
Do you use VR because it's the best solution, or just because it sounds cool?
VR is an exciting emerging technology. We think that more and more of our everyday interactions in the future will move to virtual reality. It allows more immersive training experience and more memorable training experience. If you have never tried it, I invite you to come and see for yourself, and don't trust me on my word.
Don't trust you on your word, trust on what you see. Okay,
exactly.
Thank you so much, Vladimir.
Thank you.
Yeah, and our next contender is the Managing Director of Breman Innovation, Arjan Boezeman. And also, you get bonus points for bringing models. It's yours? Yep. Oh, we're working on your PowerPoint. Yeah. And here it is.
Okay, then this is about a David crane on an offshore turbine. The most challenging part of a David crane is that it is exposed to the environment for its entire lifetime, and it's a very corrosive environment. In order to work, this crane, for most of its lifetime, has to be in standby, and a few times a year a technician comes by and wants to hoist tools or spare parts on board of the turbine, and then this crane reliably has to work. So that is why at this offshore conference we are introducing a new type of David crane. That's the chain crane. Can I have the next? The chain crane is, as the name indicates, a crane that's operated by a chain, and we have implemented two patented innovations in this crane. The first is that the drive system is actually in the pedestal of the crane, so it's nicely sheltered from the environment, and we have added an additional loop in the chain to make sure that the chain always pays out if you start the drive motor. And the second innovation is a patented system by chain manufacturer Root, German company, that allows for a high hook speed of 60 meters per minute, so 1 meter per second. In addition to that, we also have added some minor bonus points. Such as a quick connector, which allows for a quick connection if you want to hoist your load out of from the vessel. This is the way to do it. Okay. Basically, what we're trying to do is build a prototype. It will be ready in February of next year, so in about 3 months' time. So, if you want to know more, come to the Innovators doc.
Wonderful, thank you so much. I saw René of Neptune Energy. Oh, yeah, get first applause. Yeah, applause. I saw René of Neptune Energy, eager to ask a question.
Yeah, interesting story, Arjan, indeed. I have a question. We as Neptune Energy operate offshore cranes for years, and we definitely know how, let's say, hard it is to maintain these lifting devices in these harsh conditions. So currently you see more and more walk-to-work vessels which you actually eliminate offshore lifting tools. How do you see your system to be competitive against lifting tools on a barge, which are heave compensated or wave compensated? How do you see your competition against that?
Basically, you are asking whether we could also do heave compensation. Is that the question, or is it more about the general competition?
Yeah, indeed. So I can imagine, let's say, offshore installation might be built even without lifting devices, because lifting devices could be on a supply boat, for example.
I think for 10 years people have tried to tell that story, and so far still every wind turbine is built with a davit crane. So far, until that market dies, I'm trying to sell these cranes. And with respect to the heave compensation, we are actually working on a heave compensation system that you can take with you in your backpack. There will be a sensor on the boat, and basically you can just plug in the heave compensation computer, and then the crane will be heave compensated by having one system in your backpack.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Are there more questions from the audience? I don't see anyone. Can you outcompete the big boys in the crane industry?
Yes. Otherwise we wouldn't have stand here. So
but they have the scale?
Yes, they do. But we have the experience of building offshore structures for quite some time. I'm working with a company that's 150 years old. A lot of experience in offshore wind. We can make it work.
Why should I be a customer now and not when you have a product that's proven for 10 years?
Because you want to save money now?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Arjan. Thank you. And next up is the commercial manager of Herema Engineering Solutions, Sylvan Slijpen. The microphone's yours.
Thanks. Really great to be here today and to present Herema Engineering Solutions to you. So Herema Engineering Solutions is a company that solely focuses on the offshore construction of renewable projects. So basically, we enable, de-risk, and improve the offshore procedures that are used to implement innovations or develop offshore projects that are hosted by developers. So here, we support novel installation methodologies or novel methods by finding an installation methodology around novel components, novel systems that are used for offshore wind farms. We reduce project durations, cost, and weather downtime by looking at the offshore operations planned and by improving their feasibility, basically. Next to that, we use our software Metis, which is a logistical simulation that enables us to model the complete construction of an offshore wind farm in a piece of software and shows us the actual weather downtime that will happen when a certain project goes ahead, considering the environmental conditions in a certain location and the kind of assets that are used for installation. And this combination makes us quite unique in the market, where a lot of other innovation and engineering companies actually also focus on design of components and the wider picture, we really focus on this particular aspect, which is the offshore installation, and really requires a lot of attention to do it right from the start. Because if you put a bid in as a developer, you need to make sure that you consider the right price for construction, as the cost of construction assets are significant and will affect your LCOE. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Are there questions? I go to BP. Is this a problem is this an answer to a problem you're seeing, or?
I mean, I was just wondering, is there an opportunity for you to work with chain crane?
I think so, definitely.
What's that?
In terms of the fitment of a novel solution to an offshore wind turbine, it sounds like the two companies could work together quite nicely.
Okay, yeah, you could work together?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, there's another question in the back.
I used to work with Herma a long time ago. I recognize that Herma has a lot of technology, but are you, with this aspect, in fact, not helping your competitors?
My Herma Engineering Solutions competitors? Those are other engineering houses. We support developers, offshore contractors, but also equipment and component suppliers in basically getting green energy onto the market eventually. We are completely separate from Herma Marine Contractors with that respect, and act as an individual company, an independent company. Does that answer your question?
Okay, yeah, there's a Chinese wall between the two parts of the companies. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Sylvan. Thank you. And next up is the operations managers of Next Ocean, Raghu Paravastu. The microphone, the clicker's there, the microphone's here, and your 2 minutes are there.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you all for this opportunity. I'm here to present. I'm here to present on behalf of Next Ocean. As you all know, the offshore landscape has changed quite a bit. You do a lot more operations in the same given time period. That comes along with the challenges of efficiency and also safety. So that's where Next Ocean as a company comes in. To give you an idea, this is all the latest installations that we've done on ships. So we'd help not only improve safety, but also help companies carry out their operations more efficiently. What we do is basically we use the radar on top of ships to look at the sea surface around, and then we're able to say how exactly the waves come onto the ship, which means we also know how the vessel moves in the next 1 or 2 minutes. This allows critical moments in operations to be carried out more safely, simply because you have a kind of an idea of what comes ahead. This is an example of an interface. What you see here is basically the past, so what you have right now, what you can do right now. But this is what we can show that is coming ahead, 2 minutes of time, and we do it in a deterministic fashion, so we know exactly what's happening. With a certain confidence, of course. You see the correlation percentage, which is basically the match between the blue line that is measured and what we predict. This allows you to look at these operations in a more time window-based fashion. So you know exactly when high motion events or high critical events occur, and how do you avoid it. That's basically a gist of what we do. You have a lot of, this is of course a technology, so we have a lot of applications. We operate in wind turbine installation vessels, SOV for wind access, subsea installations, floating wind turbines, but also the drilling industry. It just adds more safety and also more efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there questions from the audience? Yeah.
Hello, because I'm newly graduated from university, my question is that just 2 or 3 years ago, that still many people are struggling with predicting the same situation in the time range of seconds. Then how can you confirm that you are now able to predict exactly what's going to happen in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a very good question. I think the best indicator is clients. We already have clients that are willing to pay for a product, and they've seen it happen offshore. And we have a very strong research background within the team. So the person who started the company, my colleague Peter Nyan, he spent 15 years on his research to just perfect the technology, to bring it to a level where we can bring it to the market immediately.
But
so,
basically, you're saying we can fly to Mars in 10 minutes, whereas everybody until now says it's going to take years.
Yeah.
What is you did something that's impossible.
And the best part is we do it with existing equipment, so we don't need any new hardware on board. We can do it with off-the-shelf technology. That's the I think the crux of what we do.
Okay, so it's that revolutionary. You solved something that was unsolvable. René over there has a question. The microphone is coming to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and indeed a very interesting story. So in history, we did many offshore installations where we are really weather dependent. So a lot of data is being gathered via wave-rider boers or existing installations. Why do you think that your system will be more accurate or competitive to this wide spread of data which is currently being gathered?
The data you have right now is historical data. So you've measured. We have data of measurements of what has happened. But what we do is to make sure that when you're already there carrying out the operation, you always cannot see exactly what's going to happen in the very short term. Think about landing something through the splash zone. Think about changing a drill pipe, or think about any such application that takes a very short moment of time, where things can go very wrong if you just encounter an unforeseen extreme wave event or a motion event. So, what we have is the power to see a little bit ahead of time. That doesn't mean that we change the planning, so to speak, but also just to be more safer. And think about marginal weather conditions. If you're already operating and the weather is getting worse, but you still want to do that last transfer, you still want to do the last landing of your cargo, you can still carry out simply because you have the confidence. And also another advantage is the radar can also see at night, so you can also make it more efficient by trusting to do operations also during the night. So it enables a lot more.
Thank you so much. And I think with the weather we've seen in the Netherlands lately, you can also sell it to people on land. We all really want to know when the waves are coming.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Big round of applause for Raghu. And next up is the co-founder of Flying Fish, Gerben Schonebaum.
You build a ship, we make it fly. Today I would like to present you our Flying Fish foil system. A set of wings which you put under your boat, which lifts your hull out of the water and allows for a smooth, safe and sustainable ride. What problem are we solving? In the next decades we have to transfer to a fully zero-emission shipping and also fast shipping. But there are some hurdles to get to that point from the fossil fuels we are using now. To sail fast, you need a lot of energy, so you need a lot of energy storage, which is so far very heavy and very spacious. And it's extremely expensive. So to be able to get to that point, we need to reduce a lot of energy in sailing, and that we can do with hydrofoils. And Flying Fish, we make hydrofoils easy. So you can save up to 80% of energy. It enables fully green propulsion. It allows for high comfort because you're sailing over the waves instead of through them, and we made them easy to apply. Well, this is our Flying Fish foil system. So what you see is a set of wings underwater, some sensoring, and a control system on board which makes your boat fly like an airplane over the waves. And by that, saving a lot of energy. Well, who are we? Flying Fish is a 5-year-old company with 11 very motivated and enthusiastic engineers with a lot of experience in sustainability, but especially in hydrofoils. So what have we done in the past? We have contributed to all these hydrofoiling boats, so we have a lot of track record in the world, and I hope it works. Yeah, here you actually see the principle into action. So you actually see the boat very smoothly flying over the water, very stable and with very small amount of energy. So that is the future in our opinion. Great. Well, probably you're curious, what can it do for us? Well, at our website, you can use our hydrofoil benefit calculator. With some basic information, you can see what it can save for you. So be invited to have a look at it. And for now, let's come by at our stand and talk about the possibilities of hydrofoils for your vessel.
Thank you so much. Are there questions from the audience? Yeah, there's a question here and there's a question there. Yeah. First here, then there.
Thank you. Kind of the same question. I can imagine that for specific applications, it's a very, very well solution. So what kind of use case would be ideal for this solution? What kind of customer or use case?
Yeah, so where we see the highest value, that is where you sail fast and you're not too heavy. So don't think about very large cargo ships, but think about crew transfer vessels to wind parks, ferries, water taxis, pilot boats. So the kind of vessel where time is actually at stake, and also in rough conditions, because there you can also benefit from the comfort that the hydrofoils bring. So that kind of applications are, for us, the ideal application. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. There's a question there.
Already answered my first question. What's the size limit of your solution? Roughly in meters of boat?
So our designs for now go up to boats of like 20, 30 meters. So that's, for example, the crew transfer vessel market, that would definitely suffice. But it's flexible, and that's what we're actually trying to do. A flexible product, so which can work for different scales of boats.
Yeah. Second question, which TRL level would you grade your own solution right now?
I think 5 to 6, I would say. Around there. Yeah.
Okay. How long does it take before your foil starts to get loose and fish and other sea species get entangled in it?
So when you run into animals and that kind of stuff.
Does it let loose and then you pollute the ocean with it?
Well, that wouldn't happen so fast, because we will mount them in such a way that if they hit something, they won't sink to the bottom and become like a coral reef, but they will still remain connected to the ship. But actually, the amount of exposed area you have underwater is a lot lower than when you have a hull. So the chance actually that you're hitting something is lower than when you're sailing a normal operation. So actually, it's a benefit.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gerben.
Thank you.
And next up is the CEO and co-founder of Flask, Daniel Buagair. And this is yours. Yeah.
All right. So, hello everyone. Well, Flask is solving probably one of the biggest problems at the heart of the energy transition, we believe. And that's basically the mismatch between variable or intermittent renewable energy supply and consumer demand. So we're all hearing about the issues with tendering new wind farms, even cancellation of existing projects. The core part of it is we need to deliver more value from offshore wind, from offshore renewables in general. So we want to do that by providing industry with an offshore energy storage solution that's tailored for co-location within the same wind farm footprint. It's built on components that are already well proven offshore, so we're not marinizing batteries or taking things from onshore and trying to operate them offshore. We're building it with stuff that's been offshore for the past 40 years. At the core of the principle is a hydropneumatic process that stores energy using compressed gas, but actually manipulates it using a hydraulic system. It's a very complicated way of saying it's safe, sustainable, and quite simple actually to operate. And because we use very well-proven components from established supply chains, it's scalable very quickly and actually has a cost that's competitive with land-based storage, especially on the longer duration side. Now, as a small startup, building infrastructure offshore is, of course, quite challenging, so we leverage collaborations. We have a collaboration with Subsea 7, world-leading EPCI contractor. We collaborate with Siemens Energy. That's more on the market side, so we're looking at like UK wind farms with very challenging CFD conditions, trying to answer the question, okay, can we actually generate more revenue from an existing offshore consent? And we're now always looking for additional collaborations to be able to deliver the solution at scale very quickly. We've done proof of concept. We will be at TRL 7 next year with an offshore demonstrator in Greece on a floating wind turbine. And we hope to start a qualification program early next year with a view of commercial projects by 2025. Yeah, so great to be here, lots of energy, and it seems like it's the right time for this. And yeah, come by our booth in the innovation dock. so I can actually tell you how it works.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah. I saw the people of BP nodding, so I think they can ask you if they want to become a customer.
Hope it's good.
Yeah, you're going to sell yourself to BP. Over there. The gentleman where the keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, correctly spotted. This is Peter and Renier from BP. So Daniel, thank you for the presentation. I was wondering, can you give an estimate when this is commercially available, like at scale?
So we can already sell it into a tender, and we've done that already on previous 2 tenders, unfortunately not to the company that won the tender. So it's already at that level where with just one final step up the TRL ladder, it can go into a wind farm already in 2025. As a fully, let's say, conventional commercial project, our aim is to be at fully certified TRL 9 by 2025. But as we know, offshore projects take time, so in parallel with that, over the next 2 years, we want to have signed our first commercial contract. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. We will see more and more offshore generation of hydrogen, then there is no need for short-term storage anymore.
I keep hearing this and I don't like this.
Why not?
No, we need offshore storage because if you try to build a hydrogen production plant at scale and you only operate it when maybe energy prices are cheap or maybe when there's some surplus wind, that's going to be very expensive hydrogen. So most hydrogen systems actually will need quite a stable and predictable supply of power to keep the system running, to not make it fully dependent on wind. And if we want to replace offshore cables with offshore pipelines, that means that there's no grid offshore. So we need something to keep a stable energy system and produce cheap and cost-effective hydrogen. So Flask is actually a very complementary technology to hydrogen production.
Okay, wonderful. Looking into the audience, seeing no more questions, then thank you so much, Daniel. Yeah, and next up is the Managing Director of 3 Composites, Eline Speck. Oh, you brought an assistant with a prop. That's bonus points.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eline Speck, and I'm the Managing Director for 3 Composites. And today I'm going to present to you the wrapped composite joint that's going to accelerate the energy transition. We envision a future fueled by renewable energy, but to get there, we need to speed up the production and installation of offshore wind parks, the entire supply chain, including the foundations. The jacket foundation is a great foundation for deeper waters and larger turbines, but its widespread use is held back by its cost, especially the high cost related to the manual welding of complex joint. The solution? The composite joint. It was invented by the Delft University of Technology, and it uses composite material to connect large tubular members into complex joints like the X joint, TT joint, KK joint. It omits weld completely. So all of the forces are transferred via the optimized shape of the wrap, leading to superior fatigue resistance. The joints can be delivered prefabricated and pre-coated to any existing yard. That means that they can double their production rate. And that's not the only advantage. So structures using these composite joints could utilize up to 60% less steel, which leads to a 50% reduction of their carbon footprint. At 3 Composites, we already achieved major milestone. We successfully tested and manufactured 3 of these full-scale X joints, confirming their fatigue resistance to be over 5,000 times larger than that of a reference welded joint. And we constructed this pilot floater for offshore solar for the Belgian Seafold Consortium that is offshore right now at the coast of Ostend. So now I've sparked your interest, let's connect. And let's see how our composite joint can elevate your offshore renewable structures, enabling cost effectiveness, faster manufacturing, and a reduced carbon footprint. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Look into the audience, see if there are questions for you. This morning we had someone who has a new concept of pipes, no more steel pipes, but composite pipes. Then your wrapping isn't necessary anymore.
Absolutely, because if you have composite pipe, you can create constructions like the last one that I showed you. That floater for offshore solar is made completely with composites, so also pipes. So our joints can do both composite to metal, that's a hybrid structure, but we can also do full composite structures.
Okay, wonderful. Look into the audience. Seeing none, then thank you so much, Eline. Yeah, and thank you so much. And last, we have the co-founder of I4C, Bruno Balbi. 2 minutes for you. We're still working on the presentation. It takes a second.
Okay.
Yeah, our team is super fast, but we need a breakthrough innovation for that as well. Yeah, and he is ready.
Right. My name is Bruno. I co-founded I4C, and we are already market leaders in Brazil, quickly expanding in Latin America and also Europe. And our job is to make weather forecasts not only more reliable, but easier to understand. I know that everyone here had a problem with weather forecasts, either for barbecue or for operations, right? So the idea is to transform this very hard to understand and not so precise weather forecast into the bring an umbrella, because that's what we need to know, right? But of course, in the offshore industry, maritime industry, it's all about understanding, is the CTVs, SOVs safe to go to the farms, and what is the best route within the wind turbines, right? Which ones should we have to go now or later due to waves, winds, and other weather conditions? And we do that by actually taking a lot of data from global models and from sensors to go from a 9 kilometers resolution forecast to a 10 meters resolution forecast. So really know what's happening in each turbine of the wind farms. And that's how it looks like. A global forecast with low resolution and not so many details, and the hyperlocal one with a lot of details. And of course, transforming all of those weather forecasts into actions for the daily operations. So we really need to focus on the time that you're working on operations and not really understanding what the forecasts will be translated into. And we already started working with Vattenfall in the North Sea, and in less than 2 months, we were able to give a potential savings of 45K on 3 events that the CLVs were supposed to go, but the waves were super high, so it was not going to be a safe operation for them. So this is what we're all about, using the best information for weather and sea as possible to make sure that the best decisions are made and the operations are more safe and more efficient. And thank you very much for your time. I'm open for the questions.
Wonderful, thank you so much, Bruno. Look into the audience to see if we have questions for your weather forecast. I don't see them immediately. When is this also going to be available for me as a customer? For me as a normal person living in a terrible country?
I mean, the more detail we get, the more expensive it is too. So if you had some bucks around, we can actually make it work for you.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it a little bit. Yeah, it's time to wrap up. You get a big round of applause for Bruno.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and then can we go back to you of BP? You've heard 9 pitches. The big question was, do these people understand the desires of the market?
I definitely got a sense from some of them there was some fantastic insight there and some great opportunities. I really want to have a conversation around these composite joints. It seems like sort of magic.
Ooh, magic! So there's magic in it. The composite joint. Yeah, go find them in the BP booth over there. That's they're definitely you found the customer, I think. A possible customer, yeah, a possible customer. René, can you come? René of Neptune, give him an applause.
Yeah, first of all, I think they're all innovative ideas, and I really like that, because we as Neptune are also in a process of change from traditional oil and gas, which we have been doing for years on the Dutch sector of the North Sea and also outside. So we are in a process of change. And what's really important, if you want to make a change, is stakeholder engagement. Because every brilliant idea you will have, there will be pros and cons. There will be people against you, but there are also people supporting you. So in all these 9 innovative ideas, I would advise to all, let's say, the parties involved, please keep your stakeholders on board, because that's really important to move your ideas forward and to make a success out of it. So that's what I like to give the message to all these innovative parties.
What we see they have revolutionary new ideas to do the small things in the energy transition, so the joints and bolts in the energy transition in a new way. Is this all peanuts, or if you all combine it together, it's a big revolution?
No, I think that's exactly where the strength sits. So you see also some complementary elements here, and I think one idea could strengthen the other. So I see, for example, predictability in weather forecast could definitely help the other ideas. So if you're designing a crane and the workability around your crane, you need these type of data, and artificial intelligence is coming more and more. So self-learning systems could really be helpful in this environment of change.
Yeah, a lot of small revolutions is a big revolution.
Indeed.
Buccaneer yesterday said, we make startups ready to go out to the established companies, but also the established companies need to be ready for startups, because if you treat them like the big companies, yeah, they're not there yet. What do you do to make yourself ready for startups?
No, that answer is pretty easy. I've been presenting myself at the Buccaneer. So I really like to expose Neptune as being an innovative company. And we're definitely open for startups. So first it starts with engagement, so stakeholder engagement, but also engaging with good ideas, which might be helpful in accelerating the energy transition. Because there's a future for us all, I think. So and also for the startups.
Well, wonderful. Hope you are leading the way also to all the other big boys in the industry to be startup ready. Thank you so much, René. And a big round of applause to all the pitchers. I hope you find a lot of new customers here today at the exhibition.